Wait! Before we start, do you want a bundle of 30 printable Filipino PDF cheat sheets? Teaching you words and phrases for conversations for free? Then click the link in the description and sign up for a free lifetime account to get access.
Hi guys, and welcome to Filipino Top Words. I'm Erica, and for today we will be learning about Filipino foods. So, you probably know, or probably don't know, that there are many different and delicious Filipino foods. Adobo. Adobo. The first food that everyone should know about is adobo. In English, we also call it adobo. Adobo ang paborito kong pagkaing Pilipino. Adobo is my favorite Filipino dish. So actually, adobo is the first thing that I've ever learned to make. It's the easiest, so you just need soy sauce, vinegar, bay leaf, or laurel leaf, whatever you call them. Sometimes people call them bay leaf, sometimes laurel leaf, and peppercorns, right? And then just boil it boil those things together with pork or chicken or pork and chicken, depending on what you want to eat. And then everything will be nice and soft. Chicharon. Chicharon. Next is chicharon. In English, chicharon. Ang chicharon ay gawa sa balat ng baboy. Chicharon is made from pig skin. So it's actually crackling pig skin. Yeah, it's very crunchy. But I saw some show where they made chicharon by putting it in the oven. And I put it in the oven, and then afterwards it came out really crackling. So that's how they made it. But I don't know if that's actually how you make it. I think the most popular brand of chicharon is Lapids. So if you want to try chicharon, try the Lapids chicharon. Just remember that's not very healthy. Try it, don't eat too much. You can also eat it with rice actually. Durian. Durian. Next food is, or fruit, is durian. Or actually just durian. Masarap ang durian kahit na may amoy ito. Durian, or durian, is delicious, even if it doesn't smell good. Yeah, it actually doesn't smell good. But it tastes nice. To me, it just tastes like jackfruit. I don't know about you. If you want to try durian, you go to the southern part of the Philippines. That's where you can get them cheaper. Yeah, fresher, more potent smell. Go to Davao, get them there fresh, and it's really good. Halo-halo. 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 In English, halo-halo. Tuwing tag-araw, mabenta ang halo-halo. Every summer, halo-halo sells well. So halo-halo is made up of crushed ice with some sweet beans, with different fruits, and sometimes, what other stuff? Nata de coco, or like sweet coconut things. And also leche flan or caramel flan. That's actually how it is, like caramel flan. Or sometimes, what is it? Sweet yam. You know yam, right? Ube. And then sometimes, in some stores, they put ice cream on top of it. When I was young, my aunt actually sells halo-halo. So every summer, she makes halo-halo. And those are the best halo-halo. I don't really like halo-halo in other places. I only like her halo. But she didn't make them anymore because the way you make the crushed ice, it's very manual. Everything is manual. You have this small device, right? You know it, like, to do this with the ice. It's not like you buy crushed ice already. So you have this small, like this device. So for every what's this, glass of halo-halo, it takes a lot of time for you to get crushed ice. So my friend here drew halo-halo. And this is it. So this is the crushed ice. And these are the stuff that you can put inside, like sweet beans, some fruits, and then this is the caramel flan or the pudding. And then sometimes they have ice cream here. And then you use the spoon to halo-halo or to mix everything. So that's it. Kare-kare. Kare-kare or peanut stew. Next food is kare-kare. In English, kare-kare. Or, if you really want to be fancy, peanut stew. Masarap magluto ng kare-kare si Joy. Joy cooks delicious peanut stew. if you've already noticed, we always like repeating words for the names of our food. Halo-halo and kare-kare. Before when I was young, I only get to eat kare-kare during fiesta. Because it's kind of an expensive food to make. Because traditionally, you would make kare-kare with, how do you call this part?
Tuwalya?
Yeah, tuwalya. How do you say it?
Innards?
Like-
Intestine wall?
Something, I think, stomach walls, stomach lining,
walls,
right?
yeah.
Originally, it's with stomach lining. So I think that's kind of hard to come by and a bit expensive because you make it with cow innards, right? But it's really good. And then now, people like to eat the fast food. So there's lots of mixes for kare-kare. And when you really want to make kare-kare, you have to grind the peanuts by hand, everything by hand, right? To make peanut paste. But now you can just buy mixes and stuff. But still, the original kare-kare is very good. Now you can make it with pork, with beef, with chicken.
Or just vegetarian.
Or you can just use vegetables if you want to be vegetarian. Because it actually has lots of vegetables. Because even though it's peanut sauce, it actually doesn't have, what do you call this? It has taste, but it's not salty, it's not sweet, as if there's no taste at all. So there's taste, but there's no taste at all. It's kind of weird. So you eat it with shrimp paste, or in Filipino, bagoong. Oh, it's so delicious. Okay. But I cannot eat parega. It's not fiesta yet.
Yeah.
Lechon, roasted suckling pig. Next is lechon, or roasted suckling pig. Tuwing Pasko, hindi mawawala ang lechon sa pagkaing Pilipino. Every Christmas, roasted suckling pig is always present in Filipino dishes. Lechon is expensive, so you only get lechon. It's an entire pig that's roasted. So usually, you roast it for a long time because you want everything to be even, right? The way it's cooked. And then at the end, you will get this really, crackling skin. Yeah, very, very crispy. And then you eat it with liver sauce. That's the best. You only get this usually every big festivals or in some families, Christmas. We don't do lechon for Christmas because in the city, you cannot really do actual lechon. But you can buy lechon. What happens is, you get lechon on Christmas, and then the next few days, you get lechon paksiw, which is the meat of the lechon cooked as a stew, right? With the liver sauce, and it's very good. That's my favorite, actually. I like lechon paksiw more than lechon. So this is lechon. I don't know if you can see. Aren't we going to insert pictures here? Here on this side, you will see lechon. Mangga, mango. Mangga, or mango. Mura lang ang mangga sa Pilipinas. Mango is cheap in the Philippines, and we have the best mangoes. I have a Thai friend. He admits that we have. And those red mangoes that you get in the store, they're not real mangoes. If you want to try real mangoes, go to the Philippines. Yeah, so we have two kinds of mangoes, the yellow ones and the green ones. The yellow ones are the usual, very sweet, very fragrant, best fruit in the world, mangoes. The green one is the slightly sour ones that we call actually Indian mangoes. I don't know why. Because they're sour and because Filipinos really like to combine taste, sweet, spicy, sweet, salty, sour together. So we eat this sour green mangoes with shrimp paste. Or sometimes salt if you don't have shrimp paste. And it's really delicious. We eat that always in high school after class. Sinigang. Sinigang. Tamarind soup. Sinigang. Or sinigang. Or tamarind soup. But actually, it's not just tamarind soup because you can have sinigang based in guava, sinigang based in some other sour things. Masarap ang sinigang dahil sa saktong asim na lasa nito. Sakto. Tamarind soup is delicious because of its pleasantly sour taste. So, you can make sinigang with pork or with shrimp or with fish. But my favorite is pork sinigang. What is yours? Pork also. Before when I was young, I liked shrimp sinigang. But then I realized I like shrimp better in either curry or just in butter sauce because shrimp is better in butter sauce. So, sinigang is best with pork. Dinuguan. 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 Or in English, dinuguan. Ang dinuguan ay ang dugo ng baboy. Dinuguan is pig's blood. Oh, but I like it. I like dinuguan a lot. Especially if dinuguan has more meat. Because some dinuguan doesn't have any meat at all. Just like the pig's blood. It's not pig's blood. It's coagulated pig's blood, isn't it? No, just a bit of coagulation there. But it's like a stew kind of pig's blood. What do you say? What does it mean? But it's very delicious. And I like eating it with rice because we eat everything with rice, right? Next is sisig. Sisig. Everyone's favorite, sisig. Or, in English, sisig. Ang sisig ay mas masarap pag sisling sisig. Wow. Sisig is even more delicious if it's sizzling. I think the original idea of sisig is chopped pig's face. So the meat that you use there in sisig is pig's face. So you just cut up everything, and then add some lime, liver, and then cut up everything, and then make it to a sizzling plate. So everything is as if it's fried, right? And then you add some what's this, like spicy things. Now in many restaurants you can order sisig in, say, pork sisig, right? Or tuna sisig. Oh. Tuna sisig is really good. That's it for today's lesson. Hope you learned something new. And have you ever tried any Filipino food? If you've tried something that we haven't said, please comment them down below and tell us if you like them or not. Or if you have tried the ones that we have said, please comment them down below and tell us if you like them. And hopefully you did. Because if you don't, then go. Get out. Bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to learn more Filipino, head on to filipinopod101.com. Till the next lesson. Nagbabago. Ano nga? Hanggang sa muli.
Did you download your free PDF cheat sheets yet? These conversation cheat sheets are an easy way to speak more because you get cheat sheets for conversational topics like the weather, family, hobbies, and much more. And inside, you'll learn common questions and answers that you'd use in conversations, as well as tons of vocabulary. Don't miss out on this free gift. Click the link in the description to get access.
Hello guys, and welcome to Filipino Top Words. I'm Erica, and for today, we will learn about the 10 compliments you always want to hear. Ang guwapo mo. You're handsome. 2 possible circumstances. First, if the person is really, really handsome. Second, if you want something from that person. So for example, you want something done for you. You go to this person and say, "Oh, ang gwapo mo. Pwede bang pakitulungan ako?" In English, "You're handsome. Can you help me with this?" Ang galing mo, or "You're good." But this is very nice to hear, right? If your boss tells you, "Oh, you're good at what you do. Keep doing it." Then you say, "Oh, thank you. Can you raise my salary?" Right? So it's not about you being kind, but it's more about you were able to do something. Like you excelled at something. So in sports, for instance, or as I've said, in your job, you were able to do something very nice, then this is a proper compliment. So also if your friend helped you and this friend actually did a very good job, for instance, then you would also say, "Ang galing mo," or "You're good." Mahusay kang kaibigan. You are an awesome friend. I don't really say this to my friends. I mean, we have more of like a love-hate kind of relationship, so. I mean, it's good if you actually say this more to people that you are not so close to. Yeah, because once you get close to a person, then you can actually insult this person.
Yeah.
And that's more like the kind of friendship that you will get, like more of like love-hate kind of,
Yeah.
right? But then, of course, you want to compliment because compliments actually make you feel nice. And when you feel nice, you do things much nicer. So, this is something that you can tell your friend. You are an awesome friend. Mahusay kang kaibigan. Mas maganda palalo ang iyong kalooban kaysa sa iyong panlabas na anyo. Your inside is even more beautiful than your outside. I think if I'm your friend, I won't even like this because I want my outside to be more beautiful than my inside. Because I'm vain like that. I don't care about what you think of me inside. As long as you think I'm beautiful. I think more people are going to like that one than this. I mean, if you tell this to someone, what would that person say? And this person would probably say, "What do you think of me? I'm not beautiful on the outside." Right? It's not so nice, but you can try. Let's see how far you will go. But it's actually nice to compliment people's inside. Kahanga-hanga ang iyong resume. Your resume is impressive. And this is very helpful when you are you're being interviewed. And if you hear this phrase, then that means you have a good chance of getting the job. Because that means your resume is actually very impressive for them. But sometimes, you know how HR people are, right? They just tell you, "Oh, your resume is very impressive, but I'm sorry, we found someone with a more impressive resume than you." So if someone tells you, "Oh, your resume is very impressive," then it also tells you that, okay, you're on the right track of whatever you want to be, right? So I think that's very helpful. Magaling or great job. Saya no, great job. So this is a common phrase, common compliment that you will hear. So you can use it in many different circumstances, like you accomplished something. So if you also troubleshoot something, you're able to do it, then your boss will say, "Oh, that's good job," or "great job," "better job," "best job."
Greatest job.
Bestest job. Bagay sa'yo ang jacket na yan. That jacket looks nice on you. After you compliment them on the inside, you also compliment them on the outside, right? But your compliment only goes to the jacket, not poor person. You can change jacket into whatever things. Bagay is, it fits you, right? So when you say bagay, other than it meaning a thing, right? Bagay also means it suits you. So, you can say, that dress suits you. So, bagay sa'yo ang bestida na yan. Or that hat suits you for whatever reason you're wearing a hat, right? So, or those glasses suit you. So, that's actually a very useful compliment to learn. Maganda ang taste mo. You have good taste. So, this is a very nice compliment if someone tells you, "Oh, you have very good taste in say, furniture," right?
Furniture.
or in clothes, or on what's it, house decor, right? That's a very nice because that means we use the same word actually, taste. But usually we just say maganda ang taste mo or okay ang taste mo, right? Okay ang taste mo. Which all means you have good taste. Maganda ang iyong ngiti. Your smile is beautiful. I think you only say this to your prospective partners. You don't say this to your friends, right? Because if you say this to your friends, they'll be like, "What is wrong with you?" Right? So, maganda means beautiful. So you can replace ngiti with many other things. So you can say, bag. Maganda ang iyong bag. Or, your bag is beautiful. Or, maganda ang iyong buhok. Or, your hair is nice. Right? Maganda ang iyong damit. Or, your clothes are nice. So you can change ngiti to something more appropriate for the occasion. But if you're courting someone, maganda ang iyong ngiti can actually help. But then, whoever you're courting is going to be like, what? I think it would be much better if you say, maganda ang ngipin mo. You have good teeth. Ang ganda mo. You look gorgeous. Or you look beautiful. Or you look pretty, depending on the level of prettiness. Right? Ang ganda mo, which means you look gorgeous or you look beautiful. Or you can also say, ang cute mo, right? Which means you look cute. And we say this like for small people. Ah, you're so cute, right? I have two close friends who are very, very petite. And they're really, really cute. They're like my kids. They're so cute. So, if you want to say that she or he is very, very beautiful, then you can just repeat words. So, ang ganda-ganda mo, ang galing-galing mo, right?
So that means
And then you can
very-
change your tone to make it sarcastic. So if you think that this person is actually not really good at this job, but you want to be sarcastic, you can say, ang galing-galing mo. And we like being sarcastic in Filipino, so you will hear that a lot. And that's it for today's lesson, and hope you learned something new. If you have heard any of these, comment them down below, and what do you think is the most useful among these things? Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and if you want to learn more Filipino, visit filipinopod101.com. Hanggang sa muli, la la la. Genki. Hi everyone. Hi everyone, I'm Erica, and welcome to Filipino Top Words. For today, we will learn the 10 phrases you never want to hear. So let's begin. Nadagdagan ba ang timbang mo nitong nakaraan? Have you gained weight recently? The first phrase you won't ever want to hear is, nadagdagan ba ang timbang mo nitong nakaraan? In English, have you gained weight recently? I don't know. I also don't like hearing it, but I don't mind it, but I don't like hearing it. This is nicely put, actually. So for Filipinos, they would ask you directly, they would not ask you, they would comment on you. Oh, you look fatter, right? Or you look bigger. So in Filipino, you got a bit bigger or you got fatter, you became bigger. In Filipino is tumaba ka. Usually like that, like aunts, they see you, for example, you've been away for quite some time, you come back and then your aunts will be like, oh, tumaba ka. Right? Especially in the Philippines, you get lots of food every time you go to a restaurant. And there's another thing. Usually, you have your rice, right? And then you have your meat. And then you eat your rice with your meat. And then you realize, oh, I still have some more meat left. Then you'll get another serving of rice. And then you eat your rice. And then you eat your meat. And then you realize, I don't have any more meat, but I still have rice. And then, okay, I'll get another serving of meat. And then it's like, and it happens, you know. Mayroon kang puting buhok. You have gray hair. So the next phrase that you won't ever want to hear is mayroon kang puting buhok. Or in English, you have gray hair or white. When someone tells me I have gray hair, I immediately try to have it pulled. For me, for instance, I'm always like concerned. I just want my hair to be always like this really shiny black. And then, so we take care of it, right? Like you cover your hair also when because too much sun can make your hair, what can damage your hair, like make it a bit lighter, almost brown. But I want my hair always to be black, so I'm kind of really very like careful with it. Sinabi ko na sa'yo. I told you so. Sinabi ko na sa'yo. Or, I told you so. Who wants to hear this? No one, right? In any other language, no one will hear this, I think. Right? Because it just like drives your mistake into your face. Like, you did this. I told you so. You should have done this. And if you're Filipino, your immediate response would be, like, obvious ba? Or isn't it obvious? Just like, leave.
Like, ano nga yun?
Because Filipinos can be very sarcastic also. So they would just be like, yeah, it happened. So, nothing can be done. So, what's the point of saying, I told you so? Tanggal ka na sa trabaho. You're fired. Tanggal ka na sa trabaho. Or, you're fired. So, if you're at work, do your job properly because they're paying you. Then might as well do it, right? Hindi ikaw ang problema. Ako. It is not you. It is me. The next phrase that you don't want to hear, especially if you're splitting up, is hindi ikaw ang problema. Ako, basha, ako. Charot. Which in English is, it's not you. It is me. Okay. It's you then. If you insist, go ahead. Salamat sa pagpapadala ng iyong resume. Ngunit, ang posisyon ay napuno na. Thank you for your resume. However, the position has been filled. The next phrase that no one ever wants to hear is actually not a phrase. It's actually 2 sentences. But still, you don't want to hear or you don't want to read, right? Is, salamat sa pagpapadala ng iyong resume. Ngunit, ang posisyon ay napuno na. Or, thank you for your resume. However, the position has been filled.
Next.
But this is a nice thing actually to receive, especially if you're applying, right, for jobs, because you're not left just waiting. So at least you know, okay, this is not for me. I'm going to move on, look for another boyfriend or another girlfriend. Usually goes. Dapat tayong makipagkita sa ibang mga tao. We should see other people. The next phrase you hopefully won't hear is, dapat tayong makipagkita sa ibang mga tao. Or, we should see other people. I don't know why it's so sad. It's all about rejection. So, hopefully you don't get to experience this. Kailangan natin mag-usap. We need to talk. So, the next phrase that you don't ever want to hear is, kailangan natin mag-usap. Or, we need to talk. I think in any circumstance, this is not a nice phrase to hear, right? Whether it be your boyfriend, girlfriend, or your boss, then this is never a nice phrase to hear. So what do you do when someone tells you, we need to talk?
Mag-rosaryo ko.
Well, because we are Filipinos and we're religious, then we start praying at the rosary. Ang pangit mo. You're ugly. Next phrase that you definitely don't want to hear directed to you is, ang pangit mo. Or, you're ugly. I mean, who would say this? Is there anyone who will say this? Will anyone say this?
Super mean.
Are you a kid to say this?
Yeah.
I think only kids say this, right? And even kids nowadays are kind of a bit like politically correct. They don't really just say you're ugly. You are ugly. So if someone tells this to you, then just unfriend this person. You don't need that kind of negativity in your life. Pasensya na, nakalimutan ko. Sorry, I forgot. Pasensya na, nakalimutan ko. Which in English is, sorry, I forgot. This is very useful actually, but if it's directed to you, And for instance, the thing that was forgotten is very important, then you don't want to hear this. Say your boyfriend to buy bread on his way home, right? And he forgot. So you don't have breakfast. So can you eat, sorry, I forgot?
So you just break his fist.
So that's it for this lesson. Hope you learned phrases that you don't want to hear. Don't try using those phrases because otherwise you will also hear more phrases that you don't want to hear. Don't ever want to hear. So are there any other phrase that has been said to you that you realize you don't like? If there are, please don't forget to comment them down below and don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want more lessons in Filipino, go to filipinopod101.com and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening. I hope you won't have any problems with your partners. And always stay in love because the problem is you, not me. Hi, I'm Erica, and welcome to Filipino Top Words. Today we are going to learn 10 phrases to amaze native speakers. Salamat pero sa totoo lang, hindi ako isang native speaker. Thank you, but I'm not a native speaker actually. Salamat pero sa totoo lang, hindi ako isang native speaker. Thank you, but I'm not a native speaker actually. If you start learning now, you'll be one of those few foreigners who can amaze Filipinos. Isang taon lang ang kinailangan ko para maging mahusay sa pagsasalita. It took me only 1 year to become fluent. Isang taon lang ang kinailangan ko para maging mahusay sa pagsasalita. It took me only 1 year to become fluent. So I don't know how easy actually Filipino is for foreign people. I don't know if in 1 year you'll be able to speak it. Probably like the basics of it, right? Because Filipino, you don't really need to learn new alphabet. And also, some of the words are in Spanish. So if you kind of know Spanish, then you would most probably understand some of the words. But for you to be able to speak 1 year, I think is fine. But for you to be able to actually understand all the nuances in the language, then 1 year is probably a bit too short. Makakapagsalita ako ng Filipino gaya ng isang Pilipino sa loob ng 3 taon. I'll speak Filipino like a native speaker in 3 years. Makakapagsalita ako ng Filipino gaya ng isang Pilipino sa loob ng 3 taon. I'll speak Filipino like a native speaker in 3 years. That's actually a good target, right? But of course, there's still so many things that you won't be probably like inside jokes, right? Like, or especially since Filipino language is like any other language is continuously evolving, right? Because we have lots of slang now, right? Like slang that you get from American slang and then also gay lingo, right? So all of those words, and then usually when you learn Filipino, you won't get to hear those slang or like street words. And most people actually use a bit of like casual, even in, they only use really formal Filipino in say formal situations, formal settings. So this is a good target, but good luck. 10 taon na akong nag-aaral ng Filipino. I've been learning Filipino for 10 years. 10 taon na akong nag-aaral ng Filipino. I've been learning Filipino for 10 years. That's actually very good. I mean, for me, for us, like English, we take so many years and still there's some things that you cannot understand. So for instance, we learn English, like standard English, right? And then you talk to, say, an American or to a British person. And then there are so many words that you cannot understand. But you cannot understand them because these are like, but it's like the usage of the words is different from how you learned it from the dictionary. Sometimes when you speak to them, you sound so formal. 10 years is very good. Kaya kong manood ng mga pelikulang Filipino nang walang subtitle. I can watch Filipino movies without subtitles. Kaya kong manood ng mga pelikulang Filipino nang walang subtitle. I can watch Filipino movies without subtitles. We are releasing so many indie movies recently. Those are really good movies, so please watch Filipino movies. And if you can see them without subtitles, very good. Kaya kong magkabisa ng higit kumulang mga 50 bagong salitang Filipino kada araw. I can memorize around 50 new Filipino words a day. Kaya kong magkabisa ng higit kumulang mga 50 bagong salitang Filipino kada araw. I can memorize around 50 new Filipino words a day. Oh, that's very impressive. I don't have memories. Masaya at madaling aralin ang Filipino. Filipino is fun and easy to learn. Masaya at madaling aralin ang Filipino. Filipino is fun and easy to learn. Yeah, which actually it is, right? I think it's easier compared to, say, Japanese or Chinese. Because as I've said, first, Filipino, you don't need to learn new alphabet, which immediately makes it easy, right? Because learning a new alphabet is very hard, right? I mean, if you say, for example, walk in the streets and then you can read the signs, that's already something. Because, say, you go to Japan, then you see all the signs, and you cannot read kanji, or hiragana, or katakana, right? Then you cannot, it's like as if you're lost. But at least with Filipino, then you can immediately read the signs. And then the next thing is, you learn the words. Naintindihan ko ang lahat ng sinabi mo. I completely understood everything you said. Naintindihan ko ang lahat ng sinabi mo. I completely understood everything you said. Yeah, so when someone tells you this, then they're amazed. Yeah, so that's why they're just like, oh, great. So for example, someone tells you this very long explanation about something. Then, as a Filipino, you can simply say, gets ko. Because that's very Filipino actually, which means, I got it. Marami akong alam na slang sa Filipino. I know a lot of slang words in Filipino. Marami akong alam na slang sa Filipino. I know a lot of slang words in Filipino. It depends also when you use the slang words, because not in all circumstances can you use slang words, right? Especially if you're just meeting someone for the first time, then you would want to be a bit more formal. Then becoming too formal is not natural. It can be seen as sarcastic even. Actually, I think the key to being thought of as fluent is like getting this balance of being like casual, natural, and also a bit like more formal, right? I think so. Nakakabasa na ako ng nobela sa Filipino. I can now read a novel in Filipino. Nakakabasa na ako ng nobela sa Filipino. I can now read a novel in Filipino, which is very good. If you read actual like old Filipino novels, it's very, like flowery. It's like it really evokes emotions when you read Filipino novels. It's actually hard to write in really, say, old poetic Filipino now. So that's it for today's Filipino top words. What sentence would you say to amaze us? But actually, we're easily amazed, so don't hesitate to write anything down below or comment, because you might comment negative things, right? Okay. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to see other videos like this, then head on to filipinopod101.com. See you in the next lesson.
Naintindihan ko ang lahat ng sinabi mo.
Marami akong alam. Inay, ito na po ang inyong pansit. Na binili ko sa kanto. Inay, wag mo akong iwan, inay.
Now that you're finished with this lesson, don't forget, as a free bonus, you get over 30 conversation cheat sheets, but only if you sign up via the link in the description. You'll learn how to have flowing conversations and how to answer the most common questions. You can also print out these colorful cheat sheets to keep as physical study material. So don't miss out on this free gift. Click the link in the description and sign up for a free lifetime account to get your PDF cheat sheets.
Hi everyone, my name is Erica, and welcome to Filipino Top Words. Our lesson for today is 15 must-know family words. Ta-da! Pamilya. Pamilya. Family. Our first word is pamilya or family. Anim kami sa pamilya. Anim kami sa pamilya. There are 6 people in my family. So in the Philippines, as usual, it's like when you ask people how many they are in their family, some would ask, "Oh, do we include all the extended members, the members of the extended family, or just the nuclear?" Because there are cases when people live with with the members of the extended family, right? That makes for a really big family. Tatay, tatay, father, tatay, or father. Hindi nagagalit ang tatay ko. Hindi nagagalit ang tatay ko. In English, my father never gets angry. So my dad, he also doesn't get angry much. It's kind of weird because he's always like this mid-state between angry and not angry. But I remember when we were young, my sister doesn't really want to study well. She doesn't like take notes in school, and she's always in the toilet when there's like an important announcement by the teacher. I don't know why, how she can time that. So usually when she comes out of school, she doesn't know what happened in class, and she doesn't know the assignment. She doesn't know anything. There was one time that he got really mad, so he made giliw. That's my sister's name, giliw, which means dear in Filipino. It's like a very cute name. He was so mad, he made her kneel on what do you call this? Mongo beans, mongo seeds, right? Hello, giliw. Asawa. Asawa. Husband or spouse. Asawa or husband. Ang aking asawa ay binalak magpari, ngunit buti na lang, hindi natuloy. Ang aking asawa ay binalak magpari, ngunit buti na lang, hindi natuloy. My husband planned on becoming a priest, but I'm thankful he didn't go through with it. Who thought of this? So in Filipino, actually, when you say asawa, it can mean both husband and wife. So actually, the best translation for asawa is spouse, right? So when you want to specify that the asawa that you're referring to is male or the husband, you would say asawang lalaki, right? He could have been a priest saving the world, but yeah, thankfully, he didn't go through with it according to the sentence. Or probably he's now regretting his decision. We don't know. Anak na lalaki. Anak na lalaki. Son. Anak na lalaki. Or son. Si Ted at Tina ay may 4 na anak na lalaki. Si Ted at Tina ay may 4 na anak na lalaki. Ted and Tina have 4 sons. When you want to say son, you would add lalaki, which is male. So, anak na lalaki. Or, if you want to say daughter, then you would say anak na babae. Babae for female. Usually, you just say, oh, my kid. Right? My kid, actually. Ang anak ko, hindi na naman pumasok sa eskwelahan. My kid didn't go again to school. That was my mom's line every time when we talked about giliw. Because giliw really doesn't like taking down notes. Kapatid na lalaki. Kapatid na lalaki. Brother. Kapatid na lalaki. Or, in English, brother. Ang kapatid niyang lalaki ay napakatalino. Ang kapatid niyang lalaki ay napakatalino. His brother is extremely smart. Here, kapatid again is a gender-neutral word, which means sibling. So if you want to say brother, you would add lalaki to kapatid. So it would be kapatid na lalaki. Or if you want to say sister, then it would be kapatid na babae. Babae meaning female. In the family, there's always ways of calling brothers, sisters, right? So for an older brother, you would say kuya. For elder sister, you would say ate. Tío, uncle, tío, or uncle. Ang tío ko ay masipag. Ang tiyo ko ay masipag. My uncle is hardworking. So usually, younger people would call uncles as tito. So they would just call them tito. You can also say tito to anyone like a bit at the same age as your tito. For instance, like you meet someone and then you start talking to this someone, but they're kind of like more of a like mom, dad image. So you would call the dad image as like tito, right? Something like that. Lolo. Lolo. Grandfather. Lolo or grandfather. Magaling mag-Ingles ang aking lolo. Magaling mag-Ingles ang aking lolo. My grandfather has excellent English. Biyenang lalaki. Biyenang lalaki. Father-in-law. Biyenang lalaki or father-in-law. Ang aking biyenang lalaki ay nakakatakot. Ang aking biyenang lalaki ay nakakatakot. My father-in-law is scary. Nanay. Nanay. Mother. Nanay or mother. Walang katulad ang aking nanay. Walang katulad ang aking nanay. There is no one like my mother. Because my mom is weird. She's very funny. I don't know. I think she was normal. Now she's a mom. When I'm away, I talk to her on Facebook video, right? Video call. And then so I talk to her. And the first thing that she noticed after so many things that I discussed with her, like, oh, this like how graduate school is, blah, blah. And then her immediate reaction is, oh, did you change your sheets? Kapatid na babae. Kapatid na babae. Sister. Kapatid na babae. Or sister. May isa akong nakababatang kapatid na babae. May isa akong nakababatang kapatid na babae. I have one younger sister. So this is the same thing that we discussed earlier with the word kapatid. So it's a gender-neutral noun. And you can add lalaki or babae for male, female respectively to make it into a gendered noun. So for kapatid na babae, to mean sister, you added babae, which is female. Asawa. Asawa. Wife or spouse. Asawa or wife or spouse. Ang aking asawa ay dating sumali sa Miss Universe. Ang aking asawa ay dating sumali sa Miss Universe. My wife was in the Miss Universe pageant. Wow, lucky you. And this is again what we were discussing earlier about the word asawa, which literally means spouse. So if you want to put a gender on asawa, you would say asawang babae for wife or asawang lalaki for husband. So because of the context, then you can tell that the speaker is referring to a female spouse, right? Biyenang babae. Biyenang babae. Mother-in-law. Biyenang babae. Or mother-in-law. Ang aking biyenang babae ay napakabait. Ang aking biyenang babae ay napakabait. My mother-in-law is very kind. Oh, very lucky. You have a very scary father-in-law and a very kind mother-in-law. And we forgot to say something about biyenan, because biyenan again is a gender-neutral word. So biyenan just means in-laws, right? When you want to emphasize that you're referring to the mother-in-law, then you would add again the word for female, which is babae. So you would say biyenang babae. And then for males, you would say biyenang lalaki. Lola. Lola. Grandmother. Lola. Or grandmother. Hindi na ako namumukhaan ng aking lola. Hindi na ako namumukhaan ng aking lola. My grandmother can no longer recognize me. Oh, this is pretty sad. Katuwang. Katuwang. Partner. Katuwang or partner. Ang katuwang sa buhay ang iyong kasama sa hirap at ginhawa. Ang katuwang sa buhay ang iyong kasama sa hirap at ginhawa. Your partner in life is your companion through thick and thin. When you're thin and then when you become thick, that's what it means. Tia, tia, aunt, tia, or aunt. Mapagbigay ang aking tia. Mapagbigay ang aking tia. My aunt is generous, or tita, right? Now, being a tita is kind of like a frame of mind, right? You're lazy, you just want like nice things, you just like want to drink tea, you just want to relax, be like experience the like not be not be sweaty. If you're a tita, you're in everyone's business. Aside from all those things that I said. So imagine, you always would have titas that ask you, why aren't you still married, right? There are always those titas. They just have so much time, right? Okay, guys, that's it for this lesson. Hope you learned something new. Don't become a tita yet. Who is your favorite member of your family? How many are you and your family? And don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and visit FilipinoPod101.com to learn more Filipino. Hanggang sa muli!
Hi everyone, I'm Ice from FilipinoPod101.com. Do you know how to say I love you in Filipino? In this lesson, you'll learn 3 different ways to say I love you and a special phrase for Valentine's Day. Let's start with the most common phrase. Mahal kita. Mahal kita. I love you. This phrase is direct. You should use it only when confessing your love. If you want to be less direct, you can use this phrase. Mahalaga ka para sa akin. Mahalaga ka para sa akin. This means, you mean so much to me. Now, if you want to be more romantic in expressing your love for someone, here's a phrase for you. Hindi kayang ilarawan ng mga salita ang pag-ibig ko para sa iyo. Hindi kayang ilarawan ng mga salita ang pag-ibig ko para sa iyo. This means words cannot describe my love for you. Now you know 3 different ways to say I love you in Filipino. And here's one more. What if you want to spend Valentine's Day with someone special? In that case, you can say, maaari bang ikaw ang aking maging Valentine? Maaari bang ikaw ang aking maging Valentine? This means, will you be my Valentine? Okay, let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what you've learned. Listen to the expression and repeat after me. I love you. Mahal kita. Mahal kita. You mean so much to me. Mahalaga ka para sa akin. Mahalaga ka para sa akin. Words cannot describe my love for you. Hindi kayang ilarawan ng mga salita ang pag-ibig ko para sa iyo. Hindi kayang ilarawan ng mga salita ang pag-ibig ko para sa iyo. Will you be my Valentine? Maaari bang ikaw ang aking maging Valentine? Maaari bang ikaw ang aking maging Valentine? Well done! Here's a fun fact. Do you know about the Filipino courting tradition called harana? Harana is the tradition of serenading the person you're trying to woo from outside their house. It takes a lot of courage, but don't worry, you can have your friends back you up and play the guitar for you. You just learned 3 different ways to say I love you in Filipino, and 1 special phrase for Valentine's Day. Also, don't forget to download your free cheat sheet on how to be a good lover in the Philippines, including words for romance, compliments, and pickup lines. Check out the description below and go to filipinopod101.com now. I'll see you next time. Paalam! Filipino
It's probably
kind of a lot of you. And here's one more. Well done. Rare, medium rare.
You better be quiet.
Shh.
Funny.
Kamusta kayo? Ako si Erica. Hi everybody, I'm Erica. Welcome to FilipinoPod101.com's Filipino sa 3 minuto. The fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Filipino. In the previous lessons, we learned how to count in Filipino. I hope you spent some time practicing the numbers because they will come in handy today. We're going to learn how to go shopping in the Philippines. Before we go, you need to know how to say, how much is this? Magkano ito? Magkano ito? Are you ready to go shopping in the Philippines? Let's go! You see something you like and want to ask the shop clerk how much it costs. First, you might want to say either ate, older sister, or kuya, older brother. It's common in the Philippines to call a sales clerk ate or kuya to show respect to them. Ate, magkano ito? Kuya, magkano ito? Magkano means how much, and ito means this. To be more polite, you just add po to the phrase. Ate, magkano po ito? Kuya, magkano po ito? If you want to be more specific when asking, how much is this, and refer to a certain type of object, we need to add the connector ng to ito, and then the object that you want to buy. For example, a hat is sombrero. Ate, magkano po itong sombrero? Or, Kuya, magkano po itong sombrero? How much is this hat? Ate, magkano po itong sombrero? Kuya, magkano po itong sombrero? The shopkeeper will usually answer by simply saying the price. 100 piso po. Or even the price without the peso. 100 po. You might also hear them use the word lang, meaning only, or just, to imply that the price is cheap. For example, 100 piso lang po. 100 lang po. What is 100? I'm not telling you. Okay, it's 100. The hat costs 100 pesos. Now it's time for Erica's tips. It is common to haggle in Philippine bargain markets, so when buying, don't forget to say, may bawas pa po, meaning, is there a discount? Just remember, it's easier to get discounts if you're polite, so don't forget those pos. Happy shopping! At this point, can you count pesos in Filipino? We are going to learn how to do this and much more in the next lesson. I'll see you in the next Filipino sa 3 minuto lesson. Hanggang sa muli! Hi everybody, I'm Erica from FilipinoPod101.com. Do you know how to say bye in Filipino? In this lesson, you learn 3 parting expressions in Filipino. Let's start with the easiest one. Paalam. Pa-a-lam. This means goodbye in Filipino. You can use this expression on any occasion with anyone. If you want to be more formal, there's a different phrase you should use. Sige po, mauna na ako. Sige po, mauna na ako. This means, I'll go ahead, in Filipino. The word po makes this phrase polite. Use this expression with people older than you. If you want to sound more casual, here's a phrase for you. Sige, mauna na ako. Sige, mauna na ako. This is a casual way to say bye. This phrase is used amongst friends and in other casual situations. It can also be used with close family members and relatives similar in age. Let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what you've learned. Listen to the expressions and repeat after me. Goodbye. Paalam. Paalam. I'll go ahead. Sige po, mauna na ako. Sige po, mauna na ako. The casual way to say bye. Sige, mauna na ako. Sige, mauna na ako. Well done! Here's a fun fact. In a daily conversation, you will hear the casual phrase, sige, mauna na ako, more often than other expressions. So remember both paalam and sige, mauna na ako when talking with your friends. You just learned how to say bye in 3 different ways in Filipino. And don't forget, you can learn Filipino twice as fast with your free PDF lessons. Just click on the link in the description to download them. See you soon! Paalam! Just clink, clink. Hi everybody, I'm Erica from FilipinoPod101.com. Do you know how Filipino people celebrate New Year's Day? In this lesson, you'll learn some important phrases about the Filipino New Year and some valuable cultural tips. In Filipino, New Year's Day is called Araw ng Bagong Taon. Araw ng Bagong Taon. On Araw ng Bagong Taon, Filipino people greet each other by saying, Manigong Bagong Taon. Manigong Bagong Taon. This means Happy New Year. When you meet someone for the first time in the new year, be sure to greet them with this phrase. Filipino people also celebrate the holiday with special events and customs, with having a party being the most common. That's why you should remember this word. Handaan. Handaan. This means party. In recent years, going to street parties to welcome the New Year has become a popular tradition in the Philippines, especially in Manila. This is partly because firecrackers are gradually being prohibited for individual use. Due to the massive amount of firecrackers used and because the people setting them off at home are not professionals, Individual use of firecrackers brings danger to the neighborhood. On this special day, Filipino people have medianoche. Me-ja-no-che. This is a feast shared by the family to welcome the new year. Every type of food served is laced with an underlying meaning and is believed to bring luck and prosperity for the new year. Some of the food prepared during the party include a dozen circular fruits believed to bring prosperity. Biko, which is a kind of sweetened sticky rice, is made in order to make our luck stick around. Pansit, a type of noodle, is made for longevity. Let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what you've learned. Listen to the words and repeat after me. New Year's Day. Araw ng bagong taon. Araw ng bagong taon. Happy New Year. Manigong bagong taon. Manigong bagong taon. Party. Handaan. Handaan. A feast shared by the family to welcome the new year. Medianoche. Medianoche. Well done! Here's a fun fact. Do you know what is a good outfit to wear on New Year's Eve in the Philippines? It is said that polka dots are the best design to wear on New Year's Eve. Filipinos believe that wearing something with circular patterns like polka dots will bring a prosperous year full of luck, especially when it comes to money. You just learned how Filipinos celebrate New Year's Day and some important facts about the holiday. And if you want to learn Filipino twice as fast, just click the link in the description and download tons of PDF lessons for free. See you soon! Hanggang sa muli! Gradual ilong.
Why? Maybe more in front. Can you go get closer?
Yes.
That doesn't look very good.
I like that. It doesn't want to go. but not smiling, right?
Yeah, like right there is the sweet spot.
You don't look like you're eating it.
This is really hard job actually. I think that's enough. Kamusta kayo? Ako si Erica. Hi everybody, I'm Erica. Welcome to FilipinoPod101.com's Filipino sa 3 minuto. The fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Filipino. In the last lesson, we learned the phrase, mawalang galang lang po. Nagsasalita po ba kayo ng Ingles? Excuse me, do you speak English? We mentioned the phrase, mawalang galang lang po, which means, excuse me, in formal Filipino. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to use this and other words when apologizing in Filipino. We can use mawalang galang lang po when we need to stop someone to ask a question. It literally means just to be rude, but is used to mean excuse me. For example, mawalang galang lang po, nasaan po ang palengke? Excuse me, where is the market? Mawalang galang lang po, nasaan po ang palengke? There is another phrase we use to mean excuse me, and that is paumanhin po. However, paumanhin po is used when you have bothered someone and could also mean I'm sorry. Paumanhin po. We use mawalang galang lang po and paumanhin po exclusively for formal situations. For informal situations, Filipinos usually just say, excuse me. But if there is something you really want to apologize for, it might be better to use a different phrase. That phrase is, patawarin mo ako. It means, please forgive me, and is used in informal situations. Patawarin mo ako. In formal situations, we say, patawarin niyo po ako. Patawarin niyo po ako. Here we added po and turned the second person pronoun into plural. Another common phrase Filipinos use for apologizing is, pasensya na po kayo. Pasensya na po kayo. This phrase is usually heard from shopkeepers when apologizing to customers. It can be translated as, please be patient with us. Now it's time for Erica's tips. In the Philippines, it is normal to simply say, excuse me, or I'm sorry, since English is commonly used in conversation. You could also add po to these phrases to make them sound a bit more formal and sincere. Excuse me po, or excuse po, I'm sorry po, or sorry po. Are you able to count in Filipino? In the next lesson, we will learn the numbers in Filipino from 1 to 19. I'll be waiting for you in our next Filipino sa 3 minuto lesson. Hanggang sa muli! Hi everyone, kamusta? I'm Erica, and welcome to Filipino Top Words. So for today's lesson, we are going to talk about top 25 verbs that you will need when you go to the Philippines. So let's go ahead and get started. Maging, to become. Maging, to become. Maging can mean to be or to become. Mahirap maging hindi tapat sa sarili. It's hard not to be honest with yourself. Gustuhin, to like. So next word is gustuhin, to like. Nagustuhan niya ang pinadala mo. She liked what you sent. Gawin, to do. Next word is gawin, which means to do. It's easier said than done. In Filipino, we say, mas madaling sabihin kaysa gawin. And your mom will always use this because your mom always has many things that she wants you to do. Sabihin, to say. So our next verb is sabihin. In English, it can mean either to say or to tell. So for example, we want to say in English, don't tell our secret to anyone. In Filipino, you would say, huwag mong sabihin ang sikreto natin kahit kanino. Ipaliwanag, to explain. Ipaliwanag, to explain. Dapat ipaliwanag ng guro ng mabuti ang paksa. The teacher should explain the matter thoroughly. So for example, you're resting, looking at your phone, and then here comes your mom and tells you, magpaliwanag ka. Explain. This is very useful when you have to talk to your mom. Marinig, to hear. Marinig, to hear. Hindi kita marinig. I can't hear you. Again, you can use this when you're talking to your mom. Probably you can tell her, I didn't do this because I didn't hear you tell me do this. That's a very unsatisfactory answer for your mom all the time. Pumunta, to go. Pumunta, to go. So we can say, gusto kong pumunta sa Palawan. I want to go to Palawan. Tara na, biyahe tayo. Alamin, to know. Alamin, to know. Gusto kong alamin kung mas mahirap bang matutunan ang Japanese o Chinese. I want to know if it's harder to learn Japanese or Chinese. Compared to Japanese or Chinese, Filipino is easier, right? So, Please take the time to study Filipino. You will take less time than studying Japanese than if you go and study Japanese or Chinese. So, you know what to learn. Kunin, to take. Kunin, to take. For example, we want to say in English, please take the bill so that we can leave already. In Filipino, what you will say is, kunin mo na ang bill natin para makaalis na tayo. So when you go to the Philippines and you eat at a restaurant and you want to ask for the check, just do this hand sign. Makita, to see. Makita, to see. Huwag kang mainis pag nakita mo. Don't get annoyed when you see it. So, what are the things that you get annoyed when you see? Dumating, to arrive. Dumating, to arrive. Dumating na ang pinakahihintay mong balita. Your long-awaited news has finally arrived. Isipin, to think. Isipin, to think. Isipin nating mabuti bago magdesisyon. Let's think of it thoroughly before making a decision. Actually, this is very important because every day of your life you have to think. Tumingin, to look. Tumingin, to look. Huwag kang tumingin sa malayo pag may kausap ka. Don't look far away when you're talking with someone. Because obviously you're talking with someone, right? How would it feel like if you're talking to this person face to face and you're looking at the side like this? Naisin, to want. Naisin, to want. I want to become an engineer rather than be a doctor. Mas nais kong maging inhinyero kaysa maging doktor. Magbigay, to give. Magbigay, to give. For example, someone asks you, oh, who can give me advice on something? And then you say, Alex gives excellent advice on whatever that is. In Filipino, how you would say it, magaling magbigay ng payo si Alex. Gamitin, to use. Gamitin, to use. So for example, I don't know where you can use actually you can use gamitin a lot. For example, let's use it in a proper sentence. Hindi natin pwedeng gamitin ang may nakasulat na bawal gamitin. So in English, we can say, we can't use the ones which are marked don't use. I have a pretty straightforward, don't use it. Hanapin, to find. Hanapin, to find. You're asking your mom, where is this thing that I'm looking for? So she says, Pina, find it in the second drawer. In Filipino, it means, hanapin mo sa ikalawang drawer. Usually, your mom will call you Pina, according to her, if you don't use your eyes to look for things. So actually, it's very useful. So just remember that if you are going to look for something, don't ask your mom because you don't know what kind of fate will befall you. You might be a pineapple at the end. Lumabas, to go out. Lumabas, or to go out. So, you want to ask permission from your parents before you go out. How do we say it in Filipino? Magpaalam ka muna sa iyong mga magulang bago ka lumabas. Ask permission from your parents before you go out. Someday, kids, you will be parents too. Magtanong, to ask. Magtanong, to ask. So, for example, you have a new office mate and you want to tell your office mate, huwag kang mahiyang magtanong kapag hindi mo alam ang sagot. In English, what you just said means, don't hesitate to ask if you don't know the answer. Magtrabaho, to work. The next verb is magtrabaho, or to work. So for example, you want to say, as much as possible, I don't want to work overtime. In Filipino, you can tell your boss, ayaw kong magtrabaho ng overtime hanggat maaari. Mag, it's the way you conjugate verbs, but it's in Filipino. And then trabaho comes from the Spanish word trabajo. Pumasok, to enter. Pumasok, to enter. For example, you went to a club and you have a friend who looks 18, actually, who looks younger than 18, like a high school student. So you can tell this friend, you are not allowed to enter the club if you're under 18 years old. Or in Filipino, bawal pumasok sa club ang mas bata sa 18 taong gulang. Maramdaman, to feel. So next verb is maramdaman, or to feel. For example, you really are irritated with a person and you don't want the person to feel that you're irritated with him or her. So if you want to say in English, I don't want her to feel that I'm frustrated, then you would say in Filipino, ayaw kong maramdaman niya ang inis ko sa kanya. But I think you have to approach her and tell her that you are frustrated. So go ahead and tell her. Subukan. To try. Subukan. This again, some like really inspiring example sentences that we have here. You want to say to your friend because you want to be really encouraging. Why don't you try it before you say that you can't? And assuming that this friend cannot understand English, then you would have to learn the Filipino. You would say, bakit di mo subukan bago mo sabihin na hindi mo kaya? Mag-iwan. To leave. Mag-iwan. It actually means to leave something. You want to say in Filipino, mag-iwan ka ng 500 pesos or ng 500 piso para pambili ng pagkain. In English, please leave 500 pesos to buy food. Tumakbo, to run. Last verb for this lesson is tumakbo or to run. So for example, you are running and then you realize it's 200 meters already. So you would say, it's tiring to run more than 200 meters. And in Filipino, if you really want to say it, you would say, nakakapagod tumakbo ng higit sa 200 metro. So that's it for our lesson for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Do you have any other Filipino verbs that you know that didn't make it to the list? Go ahead and don't hesitate. Please subscribe. Stay here until the next lesson begins. Kamusta kayo? Ako si Erika. Hi everybody, I'm Erika. Welcome to FilipinoPod101.com's Filipino sa 3 minuto. The fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Filipino. In the last lesson, we learned the numbers from 1 to 11. Do you remember them? Well, let's not stop there. Now I'll give you the tens. 20. 20. 30. 30. 40. 40. 50. 50. 60. 60. 70. 70. 80. 80. 90. 90. Just like 11 to 19 from the last lesson, the tens also has a common formula. It is the numbers 1 to 9 plus connector plus pu. As I mentioned, the connector is usually NA if the letter before it is a consonant and NG if the letter before it is a vowel. I also mentioned that if a P follows the NG connector, then it becomes an M. Now here's one more thing. If the vowel before M is an O, then that also changes and becomes a U. Just like in 30, 70, and so on. Finally, one last thing to note is that for the number 10, we say 10 and not isampu. Are you ready to try making compound numbers out of the numbers we've learned? I promise it's easier. How would you say 56 in Filipino? Let's take it step by step. 50 is 50. Just add and, at, in its contracted form, and then 6, anim. So it will be 56. Done. Isn't that easy? Let's try another number. For instance, 98. Take 90, 90, and add at, in its contracted form, then 8, 8. 98. Ready for more challenge? How do we say 100 in Filipino? It is 100. That is, isa, which is 1, followed by the connector NG, then daan, which is 100. Now let's try counting up to 999. For compound numbers in the hundreds, the formula is numbers 1 to 9 plus connector plus daan plus numbers 20 to 99. For example, 169 is 169. One thing to note is that daan becomes raan when the NA connector is used. For example, 492. 492. For compound numbers with 1 to 19, you have to add an at after saying the 100. For example, 401 is 400 at isa. And now it's time for Erica's tips. Conjugation may be the trickiest part in learning Filipino, but it is done mostly to make sentences sound more natural and easier to pronounce. So don't worry if you can't nail it down yet. People will still understand you. Just keep practicing and you'll get the hang of it. Can you believe it? After only 2 lessons, you can now count up to 999 in Filipino. In the next lesson, we are going to put your number knowledge to use. Do you have all the skills you need to go shopping in the Philippines? Let's learn it together in the next Filipino sa 3 minuto lesson. Hanggang sa muli! Hi everyone, I'm Erica and welcome to Filipino Top Words. Our lesson for today is the 10 questions you should know in Filipino. So let's begin. Anong pangalan mo? What's your name? The first question that you should know is Anong pangalan mo? In English, what's your name? So, how do you answer this question? For instance, my name is Erica. So in Filipino, I would say Ako si Erica or I'm Erica. This is a very useful question when you want to get to know other people. So you better remember this. Anong pangalan mo? In English, what's your name? Kamusta? How are you? The next question that you should know is Kamusta? Or in English, how are you? How do you respond to this question? You say, Mabuti naman. Ikaw? Or, I'm good. You? So, this is also again another very common question that you can ask your friends just because you're friends. So, you have to know how they are. Parang lagi na lang magka-sarcastic yung... Actually, the longer version is Kamusta ka? But no one really says that now. So, you can just simply say, Kamusta? Yeah, or even shorter, you can just say, Musta. So, it's very nice actually to say this to people, especially if you haven't seen them for a long time. Taga saan ka? Where are you from? So, the next question that you should know is, Taga saan ka? Or in English, where are you from? So, how do you answer this question? If you are, say, from Manila, then you reply, Taga Maynila ako. Or, I'm from Manila. So, say you are from Lisbon. Then you'd say, Taga Lisbon ako. Or, I'm from Lisbon. So this is also a very important question to know, especially if you're just meeting someone for the first time. So, I don't know, just people are very interested in where you go home. Or where you're from, not really where you go home. Kailan ang iyong kaarawan? When is your birthday? Kailan ang iyong kaarawan? In English, when is your birthday? So if you want to really respond to this question in fluent Filipino, then you would say, sa ika-25 ng Disyembre ang aking kaarawan. Or in English, this translates to my birthday is on December 25th. If it's December 25, then obviously your birthday is on Christmas. But if say August 9, then you would say in Filipino, ika-siyam ng Agosto. But no one really says that, so you just say August 9. Just say August 9. Ang kaarawan ko ay sa August 9. Or my birthday is on August 9. Saan ka nakatira? Where do you live? Saan ka nakatira? Or where do you live? So, for example, you live in Makati City, which is the business district. So, you will say, nakatira ako sa Makati. Or, I live in Makati. Saan ka nagtatrabaho? Where do you work? The next question that you should know is, saan ka nagtatrabaho? Or, where do you work? So, for example, you want to say that you work Intel. Or sometimes there's call center in Intel, right? So there are many call centers in the Philippines, and many younger Filipinos work in call centers. And so you can say, nagtatrabaho ako sa Intel, or I work at Intel. And then usually the follow-up question would be, what do you do at Intel? So then you would say, I'm a call center agent, or I'm a, IT person, or I'm the CEO of Intel. Oh, wow. Ano ang phone number mo? What's your phone number? The next question that you should know is, ano ang phone number mo? Oh, we're getting really in closer territories. So, for example, you really want to be friends with this person or more than friends. Then you ask, ano ang phone number mo? Or, what's your phone number? For instance, you want to give your phone number to this person, whoever this person is. Ang number ko ay, and then your number. For instance, 0123456789. In English, my number is this. So, usually people would still ask for your phone number. But usually they would say, what's your cell phone number? Saan ka nag-aral ng Filipino? Where did you learn Filipino? Saan ka nag-aral ng Filipino? In English, where did you learn Filipino? So, this is very interesting and very important to be able to respond to this. When the person that you're talking to is really amazed with your Filipino, so you better reply with, nag-aral ako gamit ang filipinopod101.com, or I studied with filipinopod101.com. So where did you learn Filipino? Mahilig ka ba sa pagkaing Pilipino? Do you like Filipino food? Mahilig ka ba sa pagkaing Pilipino? Or, do you like Filipino food? For instance, you really do. So, how do you respond to this question? You say, oo, lalong-lalo na ang adobo, if adobo is your favorite. Or it can be kare-kare. Then you would say, oo, lalong-lalo na ang kare-kare. In English, yes, especially kare-kare or adobo. This is very important question to know because you usually get asked this question when you say go to gatherings or parties, or just when you're staying in a Filipino friend's house, right? Their moms would usually ask you, oh, do you like Filipino food? What do you want to eat? And then they will most probably give you that food, serve you that food. They're very hospitable. Saan ang magandang pasyalan sa Pilipinas? Where is it nice to go to in the Philippines? The next question that you should know is, saan ang magandang pasyalan sa Pilipinas? In English, where is it nice to go to in the Philippines? If I'm going to give an advice now, I would say Palawan, definitely. And you would see, just type Palawan in Google, you would see really beautiful pictures. But if you want to be really specific, where exactly in Palawan, then either El Nido or Coron. So, for instance, I would say sa Coron, Palawan. Or in English, in Coron, Palawan. It's very nice actually, very cheap. And very beautiful place. So, I haven't been to Coron, I've been to El Nido. I've been to El Nido, not Coron, not yet. So those are the top 10 questions that you should know. And are there any other questions that you think you should know? If there are, please don't forget to comment them down below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and go to filipinopod101.com. Bye. Just joking. You want real mangoes? Go to the Philippines. We have the best mangoes. And if you really want the best mangoes, I think you should go to this island called Guimaras. Hi everybody, I'm Erica from FilipinoPod101.com. Do you know how to say thank you in Filipino? In this lesson, you'll learn 3 different ways to say thank you and how to respond. Let's start with the easiest one. Salamat. Sa-la-mat. It means thank you. If you want to show your sincere appreciation for something, you can say this expression. Maraming salamat. Maraming Salamat. Marami means a lot. So, maraming salamat literally means many thanks. So simply add maraming if you want to show you appreciate someone a lot. What if you want to show appreciation in a more formal way? Here's how you can say it. Salamat po. Salamat po. We add the word po at the end to show respect to older people. Now you know 3 different ways to say thank you in Filipino. But how do you respond if someone thanks you? If someone thanks you in Filipino, simply say, walang anuman. It means, you're welcome. If it's a formal situation, say, walang anuman po. Let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what we've learned. Listen to the expression and repeat after me. Thank you. Salamat. Salamat. The way to say thank you so much. Maraming salamat. Maraming salamat. The formal way to say thank you. Salamat po. Salamat po. And to respond, just say, walang anuman. Walang anuman. Well done! Filipino has been influenced by many languages throughout history, and the phrase salamat has a connection to the Arabic phrase salam. Don't be surprised if you find similar sounding words from other languages, especially Spanish words. You just learned 3 different ways to say thank you and how to respond in Filipino. And if you really want to become fluent and speak Filipino from the very first lesson, go to filipinopod101.com. I'll see you next time. Hanggang sa muli! Welcome to FilipinoPod101.com's Filipino sa 3 minuto. The fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Filipino. Kamusta? Ako si Erica. Kinagagalak kong makilala ka. Hi, I'm Erica. Nice to meet you. In this series, we're going to learn basic Filipino expressions. It's super easy and it only takes 3 minutes. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to introduce yourself in Filipino. Are you ready? Here we go. Kamusta? Ako si Erica. Kinagagalak kong makilala ka. Hi, I'm Erica. It's nice to meet you. Kamusta? Ako si Erica. Kinagagalak kong makilala ka. Did you get it? Let's take it step by step. Start by saying, Kamusta? This means, how are you? But is commonly used to say, hi in Filipino. Next, say, Ako si, I am, and then your name. My name is Erica, so I'll say, Ako si Erica. Finally, say, Kinagagalak kong makilala ka. This means, it's nice to meet you. Kinagagalak kong makilala ka. Kamusta? Ako si Erica. Kinagagalak kong makilala ka. Next, we're going to learn how to introduce ourselves in formal Filipino. But first, I'll teach you 2 words that turns any Filipino sentence formal. They are po and opo. Po, opo. All Filipinos learn these 2 words when they are young because they are a must when speaking politely to those who are older. Now here's how to introduce yourself in formal Filipino. Kamusta po? Ako si Erica Reyes. Kinagagalak ko po kayong makilala. How are you? I'm Erica Reyes. it's nice to meet you. Kamusta po? Ako si Erica Reyes. Kinagagalak ko po kayong makilala. Did you notice the word po in this introduction? Let's compare it with the informal introduction we learned earlier. First, we have kamusta po instead of just kamusta. As we've said before, kamusta means how are you and has essentially the same use as hi in English. It comes from the Spanish phrase como está. We add the word po to this to make it polite. For the next sentence, there is no need to change ako si or I am. However, saying your full name is considered more formal. In the Philippines, we say our first names first and last names last. Finally, pay attention to the ending. We went from kinagagalak kong makilala ka to kinagagalak ko po kayong makilala. Ka or you is changed to the plural pronoun kayo to make the sentence more formal. The pronoun is moved to the front of the verb, and ng is added to connect the words. Finally, we also add po to the sentence to show respect. One more time. The informal way to introduce yourself in Filipino is, Kamusta? Ako si Erica. Kinagagalak kong makilala ka. The formal way to introduce yourself is, Kamusta po? Ako si Erica Reyes. Kinagagalak ko po kayong makilala. Now it's time for Erica's tips. Have you gotten hold of saying, kinagagalak kong makilala ka? Well, you might be surprised, but Filipinos say, nice to meet you, more often than its Filipino counterpart. This is because many English words and phrases are used in daily conversation since English is the second official language of the Philippines. Filipinos also shake hands during first meetings, just like in many Western cultures. But of course, if you use the proper Filipino introduction, your new Filipino friends will definitely be impressed. Do you know how to say thank you in Filipino? How about you're welcome? Watch the next Filipino sa 3 minuto lesson to find out. See you next time. Hanggang sa muli! Kamusta kayo? Ako si Erica. Hi everybody, I'm Erica. Welcome to FilipinoPod101.com's Filipino sa 3 minuto. The fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Filipino. In the last lesson, we learned how to be grateful to people by saying salamat. In this lesson, we'll learn some of the most common greetings used in the Philippines. Handa na ba kayo? Are you ready? Then let's start. First, we'll learn the greetings we use when meeting people. Kamusta? Kamusta. Do you remember this from the first lesson? Kamusta literally means, how are you? But it is used as hi or hello. Musta is a shortened version of kamusta, which you can use when greeting friends. Musta, for formal situations, we use kamusta po. Kamusta po. Now, here are sometimes specific greetings used when meeting people. Magandang araw. Magandang araw. Literally, magandang araw means good day. To be more specific about which time in the day we greet someone, we use magandang umaga, magandang tanghali, and magandang hapon, meaning good morning, good noon, and good afternoon respectively. Magandang umaga. Magandang tanghali. Magandang hapon. During the evening, there is only one greeting, and that is magandang gabi. Magandang gabi. Maganda means beautiful or good. The connector ng is added to connect maganda and gabi. In formal situations, you just need to add po to the Filipino greetings I've already mentioned. Magandang araw po, magandang umaga po, magandang tanghali po, magandang hapon po, magandang gabi po. Are you ready for more? Next are some greetings we use when leaving. To say goodbye in Filipino, we say paalam. Paalam. We also have sige mauna na ako. Literally, all right, I'll go ahead. And it's a more casual way of saying goodbye. Sige mauna na ako. Finally, we have hanggang sa muli, meaning see you again. Hanggang sa muli. Again, to make these formal, we just need to add po. Paalam po. Sige, mauna na po ako. Hanggang sa muli po. Now you can greet people in many different ways in Filipino. Let's review them all again. Here are the greetings we use when meeting people. Kamusta? Magandang araw. Magandang umaga. Magandang tanghali. Magandang hapon. Magandang gabi. When leaving, we have paalam. Sige, mauna na ako. Hanggang sa muli. For greeting people who are older than you, just add po. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Erica's tips. Another famous greeting you might hear in the Philippines is mabuhay. This literally means live, but it's used to mean welcome. It is used in formal situations like when welcoming an audience during events, or when welcoming people into the country, but not necessarily when welcoming guests to your home. During the next lesson, we'll learn the meaning of the phrase, nagsasalita ka ba ng Ingles? Do you already know it? I'll be waiting to talk about it with you in our next Filipino sa 3 minuto lesson. Hanggang sa muli! Kamusta kayo? Ako si Erica. Hi everybody, I'm Erica. Welcome to FilipinoPod101.com's Filipino sa 3 minuto, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Filipino. In the last lesson, we learned the most common greetings in Filipino. Do you remember them? In this lesson, we're going to learn a very useful phrase. Do you speak English? This phrase can be a lifesaver. The majority of Filipino people understand English. But if you ask in Filipino, you can be sure that everyone will understand what you're saying, even if their answer is no. Here's the informal way to ask it. Nagsasalita ka ba ng Ingles? Nagsasalita ka ba ng Ingles? Let's break down the sentence. In Filipino, the verb can come before the subject. Nagsasalita means speaking, followed by ka, which means you. Next, there is ba, which is the question marking particle. After it comes nang, which acts as an object marking particle, marking Ingles, which, as you might have guessed, is English. Another common way to ask if someone can speak English is, marunong ka bang mag-Ingles? Literally, this means, can you do English? Marunong ka bang mag-Ingles? Now we're going to make these sentences formal. Filipinos follow the Spanish custom of changing a singular pronoun to plural in order to show respect in formal situations, so we change ka to kayo and then move it after ba. We also need to add po as a sign of respect. Everything else stays the same. Nagsasalita po ba kayo ng Ingles? Marunong po ba kayong mag-Ingles? Nagsasalita po ba kayo ng Ingles? Marunong po ba kayong mag-Ingles? If you want to be even more formal, you can add mawalang galang lang po before the sentence. It means, excuse me, mawalang galang lang po. Nagsasalita po ba kayo ng Ingles? Excuse me, do you speak English? Mawalang galang lang po. Marunong po ba kayong mag-Ingles? Here are some common responses you might hear. Oo. Yes. Oo. Konti. A little. Konti. Hindi. No. Hindi. Now it's time for Erica's tips. For those of you who are not only English speakers, you can use this question with any language you need. Just substitute English with Espanol for Spanish, Hapon for Japanese, Italiano for Italian, Aleman for German, and so on. Now you know how to ask if people speak English or even your native language. But I hope this doesn't stop you from learning Filipino. We'll be learning more ways to say excuse me and I'm sorry in our next Filipino sa 3 minuto lesson. Hanggang sa muli! Kamusta kayo? Ako si Erica. Hi everybody, I'm Erica. Welcome to FilipinoPod101.com's Filipino sa 3 minuto. The fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Filipino. In the last lesson, we learned quite a few phrases used when apologizing in Filipino. In this lesson, we are going to learn numbers in Filipino. That's right, numbers, mga numero. And you are going to learn them in only 3 minutes, 3 minuto. Are you ready? Let's start. Isa. Isa. Dalawa. Dalawa. Tatlo. Tatlo. Apat. Apat. Lima. Lima. Anim. Anim. Pito. Pito. Walo. Walo. Siyam. Siyam. Sampu. Sampu. Okay, now repeat after me. I'll say the numbers and give you time to repeat each one. Isa. Dalawa. Tatlo. Apat. Lima. Anim. Pito. Walo. Siyam. Sampu. Great job! Try to remember these numbers by heart because you'll see them again in bigger numbers. Do you know what is before isa? Here's a clue. It's almost the same as in English. It's zero. Zero. Now let's continue from 11. Labing isa. Labing isa. Labindalawa. Labindalawa. Labintatlo. Labintatlo. Labing apat. Labing apat. Labinlima. Labinlima. Labing anim. Labing anim. Labimpito. Labimpito. Labing walo. Labing walo. Labinsyam. Labinsyam. These numbers may seem longer and harder to remember, but they basically follow a simple rule, which is labi plus connector plus the numbers 1 to 9. In Filipino, the connector is usually NA if the letter before it is a consonant, and NG if the letter before it is a vowel. In this case, since labi ends with I, then we'll be using the NG connector. However, NG sometimes changes its form depending on the letter that follows it. For the letters D, L, R, S, and T, The G from NG is dropped to make it easier to pronounce. 12, 13, 15, and 19. If a P follows the NG connector, the NG becomes an M, just like in 17. Now it's time for Erica's tips. Filipinos don't exclusively use the Filipino way of counting. As I've said before, English is commonly used in the Philippines, so it is very common for us to count in English as well. But that's not all. Sometimes, we even use the Spanish way of counting, especially when telling the time. Now you know how to count up to 11. But why stop there? Next time, we'll learn more about numbers. Do you know the Filipino word for 100? Find out in the next Filipino sa 3 minuto lesson. Hanggang sa muli! Kamusta kayo? Ako si Erica. Hi everybody, I'm Erica. Welcome to FilipinoPod101.com's Filipino sa 3 minuto. The fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Filipino. In the last lesson, we learned how to introduce ourselves in Filipino. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to use good manners as we thank people. Handa na ba kayo? Are you ready? Then let's go. Here's how we say thank you in Filipino. It's very easy. Salamat. Salamat. Salamat means thank you. When saying thank you very much, you just need to add maraming. Maraming salamat. Maraming salamat. Marami means a lot, and the NG is a connector added to marami to connect marami and salamat. Maraming salamat literally means many thanks and is equivalent to thank you very much. During the last lesson, we mentioned the informal and formal way of speaking Filipino. Salamat is the informal way to thank someone. When thanking someone older than you need to use the polite formal form. Do you remember what we need in order to do that? That's right. We just need to add the word po. Salamat po. Salamat po. If you really want to thank someone in a formal setting, you can add maraming, which means a lot, as we have just learned. Maraming salamat po. Maraming salamat po. Now, how do you answer? It's easy. Just say, walang anuman. Walang anuman. Walang anuman literally means it's nothing, but it is the equivalent of you are welcome. Wala means nothing, while anuman stands for whatsoever. It is a very common phrase to say when replying to a friend or a stranger who is thanking you. To make it formal and more polite, just add po. Walang anuman po. Walang anuman po. So when someone says salamat or maraming salamat po to you, you can simply reply with walang anuman or walang anuman po. Yes, it's that easy. Now it's time for Erica's tips. The word salamat is said to have been of Semitic origin. It sounds similar to the Arabic salam and the Hebrew shalom, meaning peace. Filipino has been influenced by many languages throughout history, so don't be surprised if you find similar sounding words from other languages, most especially Spanish words. Do you know that Filipinos have a specific greeting during the noontime? In our next Filipino sa 3 minuto lesson, you learn this and other greetings in Filipino. See you next time. Hanggang sa muli!
Now that you're finished with this lesson, don't forget, as a free bonus, you get over 30 conversation cheat sheets, but only if you sign up via the link in the description. You'll learn how to have flowing conversations and how to answer the most common questions. You can also print out these colorful cheat sheets to keep as physical study material. So don't miss out on this free gift. Click the link in the description and sign up for a free lifetime account to get your PDF cheat sheets.